Hello, it's those Utah sisters, and in this video, we are explaining the game Bounce Off. So this is a game that can be paired with any worksheet that you already have made. So I would have the worksheet that I need my students to do printed off, ready to go, and I'm just going to add this game to it to help increase engagement, to eliminate like use of cell phones or off-task behavior, and kind of keep everyone focused and zoned in for a given amount of time. Okay, what you need for this game. You do need these bounce off boards, one per group. We recommend the ones at Five Below because they're cheaper. So we give you a link right here. It'll open to this website. They're $5 per board on this. You can also find them online if you search a different, like search the game Bounce Off or Bounce Around. I don't know. But these are the ones we recommend here. I have them for my class, and you need one board per group. So in my class, we play one per table, and I have 6 tables. So I have 6 boards. You also need the balls that come with the game. If you buy the game, the balls come directly with them, but you don't need a ton, like one per student is plenty. The worksheet that you already have printed off, and then you need this pattern cards that are a PowerPoint. So you're going to right click on them. Oops, right click on them. Open them in a new tab. When you do that, it will bring you to this right here. Now, again, we create these inside of PowerPoint, not in Google Slides. So you're going to want to click File, create a copy, and download it to your computer so that way it is the correct format, there's no formatting issues, and you can change them if you want. Once you download them to your computer, they're going to look like this. We're in the actual PowerPoint tab now, and you'll be able to edit them or do whatever you would like from here. These are called pattern cards. Perfect. Let's go over the rules. So you're going to divide your class into groups or tables. Like I said, in my class, we do tables. Everybody has one game board in the middle of their table, and then each student should have their own worksheet or task cards or whatever you're doing for the day. The gist of the game is that they're going to be working independently on their own worksheet, but they earn points as a team. For every question they do, they'll check it off with the teacher. If they are correct, they get to take one turn of the game. And the game can be played in multiple versions, so I'm going to explain each one here. The first one that we play most commonly is rapid fire. So this is the easiest version. You're going to pick one pattern card and you're going to display it for the entire class. So you're going to pick one of the PowerPoint cards and you would project this picture in front of the class, or you can pick any of them, maybe this one. You project it in front of the class. You need to make sure you have explained to them that this side of the board is the front of the classroom. So however they're looking at their board, they all need to be looking at it in the same way. So orient them that this is the front, okay? Then, going back to the instructions here, then they're completing their problem, they check it off. Once they are correct, they get to bounce one ball onto their group's board. So they bounce it on the table first, and then it should land in the black game board. If it lands in any space that is shown on the pattern, they get 5 points. If it lands on the board but not in a pattern spot, they get 1 point. And if it doesn't land on the board at all, if it bounces out, they get 0 points. And they're just keeping a score as a table, and the highest score wins. So they'll just go, as soon as they do a problem, they'll go bounce it, they'll add their table points, and then they'll go sit back down. They'll do another problem, go bounce it. So it's just continually kids bouncing it at their table trying to earn points. And again, they're trying to land it in these pink circles. Those are worth 5 points. The white circles are just worth 1. And then if it doesn't land in there, it's nothing. And then the group with the highest amount of points at the end of that wins. Super easy. The more fun version is called the sabotage version. So every table, I start with 30 points because I feel like that's a good number, but you could adjust that depending on your classroom. They need to have it written somewhere. So I just pass out little whiteboards and I have them write it on a whiteboard by their board. Okay. Again, you pick one pattern card and you display it for the entire class. So I would project this pattern on the board for the whole class. Okay. They do a problem, they raise their hand, check it off with you. If they are correct, they get to go to another table and bounce the ping pong ball. They bounce it on the table first and then try to land it on their blackboard. If they land it on the blackboard in a spot that's the pattern, they get to take away 5 points from the table that they're at, from the team they're going against. If they bounce it in the board but not in a pattern spot, they only get to subtract 1 point. Again, if it doesn't even bounce on the board at all, nothing happens. So in this team, in this version, they're going against other tables trying to subtract table scores. And then the table with the highest amount of points at the end of the game wins, or it could be the table that's left standing. The only team left standing could win in that game. So they're going against other teams. Again, they just take their own ping pong ball, walk over to another one, quickly bounce it, and then go sit back down. I say if they cause a disruption or are out of control, I'll subtract points from their team, and that kind of keeps them under control. The final way is the most difficult. It's the pattern version. I would only recommend playing this if you've done this a few times and the kids know how the game works. So in this version, you're going to take these PowerPoint slides and you need to print them off, and then every group gets their own. So it's not going to be like one for the whole class. Everybody gets their own in this game. They flip over a PowerPoint slide, so they get a card, and they start working on their assignment. As soon as they do one, they get to take one bounce. They are trying to create their pattern the fastest. If they bounce it and it lands in a spot they need, they leave it in there. And then they go sit back down and keep going. If they bounce and it lands anywhere besides the spot they need, they just take their ball out, they go back, and they try and do another problem. The first team to complete their specific pattern wins. So when they're done, they should have a board that literally looks like this picture. Now, in this version, just be warned, I would make sure each of the patterns that you choose have the same amount of balls, because this pattern right here only requires 8. That's a lot easier than like this pattern right here that requires 12, right? So just be warned, pick similar level, similar number of balls patterns, if that makes sense. Okay, so 3 different versions you can play. It's super, super fun. It never gets old. I feel like it's a good investment of your money. You can create your own pattern cards using the PowerPoint template we provided by just moving your pink circles. So if you teach younger grades, you might want some that have a lot more dots than these. Like first example doesn't have that many. You literally just can click and drag this and create your own pattern. And you can also control copy and control paste it to add more balls onto the screen in your pattern card. So you can edit that as much as you want, and we hope you have fun. If you give this game a try in your classroom, please be sure to tag us at those Utah Sisters.